Welcome to the Women Lighthouse podcast, your friendly guide through all the ups and downs of life. We're here to remind you that every woman has the strength to take charge of her journey and make her dreams come true. Each week, we'll share heartwarming stories and helpful tips from amazing women who have faced their own challenges and come out stronger. Tune in, get inspired, and let's start this exciting journey towards achieving your dreams together. The Women Lighthouse, your guide to a brighter tomorrow. Hello, ladies. You're welcome to today's episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. It's great to have you on the show today. So today we're beginning a 4-part parenting journey series. So basically we're going to be sharing the parenting journey. We're going to 4 beautiful ladies. And today I have a lovely guest with me. Her name is Mrs. Bimbo Oyegunna. And she is a first-time mom of a toddler. She has a beautiful daughter who at the moment is about 18 months old. So she'll be sharing with us her parenting journey, how she was parented, her expectations for parenting before she had a child, and what it has been. And basically, we're going to glean from her experience and all that she'll be sharing with us today. So I want you to sit tight and listen to Mrs. Bimbo share her story. You are welcome, Bimbo, to the Women Lighthouse podcast. It's great to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
So I want to begin by asking you, how long have you been parenting?
Like she said in the introduction, I'm a first-time mom, and my daughter will be 2. So I'll say this is the second year of parenting.
Okay, so how's the journey of parenting been so far?
Well, if I would say it's adventurous and it's fun, kind of, and also challenging. First, I get to adjust. Okay, we get to adjust every day and trying to fit in the little human being into our daily routine, our lives. It's kind of learning and unlearning too.
So, would you say you were ready at the point you were expecting your child? Would you say you were prepared to be a parent?
Okay. Let me just try and go a bit into the past. Shortly before I got married, I had to stay with one of my close relatives. Even though that moment of my life, I didn't really plan for it. It all happened that way that I needed to go and stay with them. I was kind of stranded. So she had 4 kids, so I was with them. I was mostly the one taking care of them, and it was so stressful. But it was after the whole experience I got to realize that God intentionally made me pass through those processes as, let me say, it was like internship moment for me, just to see what was ahead and then to get myself prepared. So I can't say I was fully prepared for this parenting journey, but at least I had a knowledge of what it might look like. So in a way, it prepared me kind of, even though I feel each child has its own uniqueness and a peculiar way of raising them. So that's what I would say about being prepared.
Okay, so now let's go back a bit to you being parented. That's your experience with your own parents. How would you say the way your parents parented you had an influence in how you are currently parenting your child?
I am from a family of 5, and we are 4 girls and just 1 boy. So growing up in a family that parents girls, you could imagine what it was. My dad was kind of strict and in a way protective, even though some of those measures to help us and maybe save us from some of the dangers we might have entered into. But then one of those limitations that I saw from them was the fact that my dad was not always around, and it affected me in my relationship with people. I think it's maybe it was in recent year that I started relating where then I found it so difficult to communicate with guys. I mean, looking face to face and then communicate, I always feel intimidated. And I realized that because it's now I know better, I realized it was probably from the relationship I had with my dad. We were not so free with him because he was not always around. So in a way, that's already uh, how would I say it? Mm, it's giving me an idea that if we are raising kids that should build confidence right from home. And it starts from our relationship as father and mother. So, and so many other things. And I feel one of those things that influenced it was that I was a victim of abuse one time, and I could not really open up to my parents. And even I battled with it for a while until I was able to heal from it. So I would say it's now that I know better, we are making deliberate decisions to shield them from some of those things I experienced.
Okay, so with regards to what you have said now, um by the time you were now, like, you were pregnant and you were expecting that 9 months, and being that you are a first time mom, what were some of the expectations that you had about parenting? Because I know we as women, once we get pregnant, we start reading, we start researching, we go on Google, we have a lot of questions, especially when it's your first time. Then people would also begin to give you advice, both the ones you asked for and the ones you didn't ask for. So, how would you say your expectations for parenting were while you were pregnant, and comparing it to what you are currently experiencing as a mother?
Okay, I would say it was the period that I read like never before. Just like you said, I was always online trying to get a lot of information because even though the moment I gave birth to her, I was so scared, but I could not say this out. I was just like, how would I go home with this little being? How am I going to take care of her? I felt not sufficient. But then I would say it's more of following your instincts, if I'm correct. Like you get to learn every day and then you get to adjust to the situations, even though it has not been smooth, as expected.
What your expectations were while you were pregnant and what you are experiencing as a parent now, will you say your expectations then were maybe over exaggerated, or you're currently experiencing some things about parenting that you didn't think you were going to experience while you were expecting a baby?
Okay, I won't say some of those expectations are being matched with what is I'm experiencing at the moment. But then maybe probably because she's still young, there isn't much to do, even though she might be demanding attention. And then this is the point whereby I don't postpone activities because the moment I try to shift things, I might realize that I won't get to do them because I don't have all my time to myself. So I would say that's just major to not getting to have all the time and doing things at will.
Okay. So while you were speaking and you said she's still a bit young and all that. So I just thought of something. When your daughter like throws tantrums, because definitely she's becoming more aware, gradually she's learning to know what is right and what is wrong. She's learning to communicate with you. So definitely, I know there's what we call the terrible twos. Once a child begins to approach the age of two, their personality becomes more prominent and they begin to throw a lot of tantrums. So when your daughter throws tantrums, how do you handle it? What do you do? Do you discipline her? How do you really handle a scenario of tantrums?
Okay. First, I've realized that when she's doing what's wrong, she knows. So, and she studies emotions too. She looks at facial expressions and she understands. So sometimes I use expressions for her, my facial expression, and then she gets to understand what I'm doing. And even though these days I'm trying to control myself from shouting, I don't want to do that. So I feel what I do most time is just to caution her.
At this moment, now at this stage of your parenting, what are like your top three challenges that you're currently facing in parenting?
I'll just say getting to meet up with my my task is quite difficult. Getting to uh it's difficult to run on a schedule. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so that's for you now. The challenge
Yeah.
you are facing as an individual. So what of with your child? Is there any specific challenge you face at the moment with parenting a toddler?
Okay, I had realized that she's very smart, and then maybe this might be out of place, but I've just been thinking of getting the right resources, getting into the right environment to fine tune our strengths.
Okay. So as a parent, basically, what kind of support do you have and for yourself as an individual who is parenting and also for parenting itself? Do you have any form of support? Do you belong to a support group or is it family? Is it friends? Or are you just alone on your parenting journey?
Okay, my greatest strengths at the moment, there are friends around me, families around that. We've built something solid for a while, so we get to relate with ourselves, share some of those challenges that we are facing at the moment, and God so good. Most of them too, they are first time so we are learning together.
Okay. So what do you enjoy most about being a parent, being a mom to your lovely daughter?
Um, okay, if I would say it, I want to talk around. There's this particular scholar, I've forgotten his name. He described the mind of a child as a tabula rasa, that is a plain slate. So the fact that I realized that our mind is plain and whatsoever I write on it, I have the responsibility of writing on it and deciding at the moment what I want to say. So it's fun for me. So it's in a way it strengthens my being intentional on what I expose her to.
Okay. Okay. So I want to begin by saying thank you so much for um coming to share and to be vulnerable. It's not everyone that would want to come open up. And the essence of this series is basically for women out there to know that they are not alone. Everyone at some point in time, as long as you desire to have a child of your own, or even it may even be parenting another person's child. But as a woman, at some season in your life, you would have to play the role of a parent. So people listening to you today would definitely be able to draw strength from your unique story and your journey. So as we bring this episode to a close, it's important for us as mothers to always seek to be better at what we do and to improve. So I want to ask one final question. What area of parenting do you want to improve on, or do you think that you need to focus and grow in as a parent to be successful as a parent?
Okay. I feel what I need to work on at this moment is the fact that sometimes I feel not giving enough. Like, I always have the feeling of I'm not giving her the best, I'm not doing well enough. But I want to, in coming days, I want to be better, and I want to always applaud myself at every phase that, and also understand that there is room to be better, especially with childcare and even with our nutrition too.
Wow, that's so lovely. Thank you so much, Bimbo, for accepting our invitation to be a guest on our show. Thank you for the things you have shared. I know that people out there listening to you have also learned one or two things from the things you have shared. And also, this is also to applaud the great work you're doing. So well done and more grace to you.
Thank you, ma.
You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. We really hope today's episode has given you some great tools, resources, and a boost of confidence to take charge of your journey. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. You can also follow us on our social media handle for even more tips and a wonderful community that's all about supporting your growth. Join us next time for more uplifting stories and encouraging insights. Until we meet again, keep shining bright, stay inspired, and embrace your unique path to a better tomorrow.